Experiencing the monad. While the monad is fundamentally unknowable and unmanageable, people do report sensing it or even experiencing it firsthand. These states of consciousness must be experienced directly to be understood, since they seem to transcend logic and unite feeling and knowledge in a sense of illumination and complete certainty. The experiencer feels as if their own will were in abeyance, noted American philosopher William James, and indeed sometimes as if they were grasped and held by a superior power. In general, experiences of monadic awareness share some of the following 7 characteristics. 1. It begins with an experience of luminosity, such as glowing objects or boundless light. 2. It takes place in a state of limitless oneness or non-duality, in which subject-object dichotomy, I versus other, is transcended. 3. There is a sense of a whole original self, soul, or default state of being that is your home, or where you originally came from. 4. It's beyond thoughts, or exhibits the inability to have thoughts, and one realizes that there is still something there, beyond thinking and worldly experiences. 5. You become pure, centerless awareness in a state of thought-free objectivity in which there is complete knowledge or direct gnosis of reality. 6. The overall feeling is one of infinite security and bliss in which there is no fear or experience of time. 7. In describing the experience, it remains paradoxical and ineffable. Researchers classify monadic experiences into the 2 categories of introvertive or extrovertive. An extrovertive experience is one that is directed outward or is focused on an independent external reality. It seems to take place outside an individual's mind in a state of universal or cosmic consciousness. The extroverted experience of the monad is the most widely reported mystical state of consciousness and is found in all cultures throughout history. British philosopher Walter Terence Stace defined it as a universal monistic extrovertive experience that looks outward through the senses to apprehend the one or the oneness of all in or through the multiplicity of the world, apprehending the one as an inner life or consciousness of the world. The oneness is experienced as a sacred objective reality in a feeling of bliss and joy. In his classifications of mystical experiences, British philosopher Robert Charles Zahner listed the extrovertive experience of the monad as the most common category reported. He defined it as a monistic experience of an undifferentiated unity transcending space and time. He classified experiences in which there is an encounter with God or one's idea of God as theistic monistic experiences. An introvertive experience, on the other hand, is one in which the attention is directed inward, focusing on one's inner world and centered inside one's own consciousness. An introverted monadic experience takes place in the personal or lesser monad that is the inner core of our being. Stace defined this kind of experience as a universal monistic introvertive experience that looks inward into the mind to achieve pure consciousness. He called it a state of unitary consciousness, a deeply personal state of consciousness beyond words that does not have an external source of contemplation. Zahner identified a type of introvertive monadic experience he named pan-enhenic, or all-in-one, which is the experience of the oneness of nature with one's self included. In his book, The Problem of Pure Consciousness, Mysticism and Philosophy, researcher Robert Foreman called the introvertive experience of the lesser monad a pure conscious event, or PCE. According to Foreman, a PCE consists of an emptying out by a person of all experiential content and phenomenological qualities, such as concepts, thoughts, sensory perception, and fantasy images, but the subject remains in a state of pure wakeful consciousness, an empty consciousness from which one need not awake.